Hi guys, welcome back to the Light Finance Global YouTube channel. It's my pleasure to be with you again. Today we are going to discuss breakout candle and how to follow the breakout direction. It's a part one. The next part, the second part, we are going to discuss how to reverse and be against the breakout candle. So, without further ado, let's jump straight into the video. Okay, so let's have a look what we have. We are going to look for either making the lower low as what we have here and here, all right, or looking for the higher low as we are going to have, for example, here, all right. That's gonna be very important. But before we start to explain what it's all about, please do remember this video has educational purpose only, so please do your own research before risking real money. Alright, so what is all about when it comes to the breakdown or breakout to the upside when it comes to the one particular candle? Well, this candle, like what we have here or what we have here, can create completely new range. In that case, what I'm looking for some kind of the retest of the, in that case, of the breakdown of the top of that candle with the failure, and then trying to trade in the direction of the break. Well, it's going to work on all time frames, but the higher time frame, the bigger your patience should be, because it's not going to be very common on a higher time frame. Well, if you are doing the day trading, that's gonna be completely different story. And if you are going to switch into the lower time frame, it's going to be easier to find this type of the setup. All right, so what we are looking for? Well, as you can see here, compared to the previous low, this particular candle closed below, all right? So what I've been immediately looking for, some kind of the retrace and retest the top of that candle. Why? Because very often this type of the candle is going to be called as the gap as well. So if you know the usual approach when it comes to the gap, right? For example, that was the move to the downside, and the next day it was the downside. Very often the market is trying to close the gap before the continuation into the direction of the gap, right? That's something very usual. That's the point number one. The point number two is that we have to be at the higher level. This type of the attempt to break lower shouldn't happen after the huge move to the downside, because that's something we are going to discuss in the second part of that particular video. So what is the approach? We are waiting for some kind of the failure, and as you can see in that particular first example, there was a failure with the higher shadow, right? So in that case, at the close of that candle, you are immediately opening in the next one with the stop above the shadow, all right? And you are targeting and you are targeting well, there are few things. First target could be the bottom of that move, right? That's the first one. It could also be based on your approach. It could be 3R, for example, right? That you want to trade 3R. It could be that you are closing half here, and with the trading stop you are letting run for the rest. That's very, very important, right? The next thing we have seen here, it was another big breakdown here. And that was even better because we've seen quite few possible attempts to try to short this break to the downside, right? And the candle was even bigger, so that was quite a big range. And what is important for you to notice here is the way of the break to the downside, one big candle, and the way how we were approaching the top. Again, boom. How we were approaching the boom. Again, how was the way? Boom. So finally, it was big boom to the downside. So the way, for example, with the trailing stop could be the name of the game, trying to catch this big type of the move. All right, and the very similar is going to work with the opposite direction when we are looking for the move to the upside. As you can see, there was a move to the downside, we were going to the downside, finally we were going to the downside. And as I mentioned, you don't want to trade big breakdown at the bottom, you rather looking for something to happen. And as you can see here, there was a strong move to the upside, and it was the one single candle over here. So I've been very curious what's going to happen, and it was the retest of the bottom, failure at the bottom, and it was the at least retest of the top of that breakout candle, as you can see here. All right, and trying to trade with the trailing stop, you were able even to catch the bigger move to the upside. All right, so that's very important. As I mentioned, if you are trading medium long term, it's not going to be very common. If you are doing the day trading, especially around the European Open or US Open, that's what might happen much more often. Don't forget that if you are going to trade with the direction of the breakout or breakdown candle, if it's breakdown, it has to happen higher high, somewhere around the top. If you are trying to follow the breakout candle, it has to happen around the bottom. All right, so again, please do your own research. It could be very great tool within your arsenal, trading arsenal. It could be very useful tool. It could be addition into your trading arsenal. So with that being said, wish you great next trading session. See you around, take care, and goodbye.